All right, call the meeting to order and have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman LaPratt. Present. Councilwoman Sawicki.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
All right, thank you. We have a presentation from the Harperwood School District, and Mr. Toussaint, would you like to do the honors of introducing?
Oh my God, I am totally honored to do this. I guess one of the reasons why is because I have a little background on my last job I had for 17, 18 years is with Lego Education, and one of my major products was Lego Robotics. And I actually brought Lego Robotics to Harperwood Schools back in about 2017 or 18 or whatever like that. In fact, even my son did some initial training for them. So I was glad when I came around that they still got a program going. And it's actually over in the old Circuit City building. The school has brought that and turned it into a career ed center here. Our presenter, our lead, we only got a few minutes here, so I won't talk to him. I could talk about this for hours. But our Charles Heyman, who's a graphics arts teacher, he's been with Harperwood schools for several years now. He used to be the principal of Harperwood Academy. So now he's taking over this program, and this is just a wonderful program because it's actually hands-on learning. You know, instead of just coding and stuff, you actually program and see results. Program and see results. So this makes it a wonderful program for all kind of kids. Average kids, gifted kid, get a couple of ADHD kids like I have where they can teach the class for you. So, what's so nice about it too with the Lego, it also has curriculum to go with it. Teacher lesson plans, student worksheets, correlation to standards. So we have a total STEM curriculum. And many of the kids, and she included Cheryl Constantino's daughter, who was in a robotics program, said he turned into a civil engineer. Like me, the kids, electrical engineer. Engineer. My son turned into an engineer, but he's doing very well, and I owe it a lot to this. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to Charles Hyman to present his group and talk about the program and dazzle everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having the student council, or the city council. All right, so I want to, when I was thinking about this, I'm going to be quick, but this presentation is about, we're going to influence technology throughout the community. That's what it's all about. Each one teach one. So, saying that we know that we are in our 4th industrial revolution. And in that revolution, we're talking about technology, AI, and robotics. That's what it's about. So how do we prepare our community? How do we prepare our kids? So here at Harperwood's superintendent, the board, the teachers, the principals, we understand that it's very important to not only just teach the core curriculum, math, science, English, and social studies, the critical thinking skills, computational thinking skills to solve problems. But we also got to teach the skills that we need to carry on into the 21st century technology. So that's why we have the CCI building, which is the college and career institution that focuses on graphic arts, radio and TV, computer networking, cybersecurity, culinary, esports, construction trade, and robotics. All of those areas infuse robotics. So the kids that I have today, they are learning these different skills and putting them together into a fun competition. So I have Mr. Rogers here, and I have Mr. Wilson here, and I have Mr. Gaines here to talk about FIRST Robotics. Yeah. Let's come on up, Mr. Rogers.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jordan Rogers, the liaison of logistics for the Harperwoods robotics team. I'm in charge of the business, marketing, media, and strategy for the team, ensuring that we have all of our technical situations fully authorized and, together for competing on a local and national level. Now, I plan to give you the statistics of how we performed from last year to this year, which is nothing but growth. Oh, wow. So, for our FLL program, First Lego League, we had grown by 66.7% from last year placing at the very last place, and then to this year being 5th out of 15 other teams. The the FTC team being the First Tech Challenge, improving by 46.85% since last year. Last year they placed 24 out of 35 teams. I'm sorry, 27 out of 35 or 32 teams. Yeah, 32 teams. And then this year they placed 2nd place.
All right.
And then our FRC team making tremendous progress from placing from last year, FRC team, first robotics competition. We made it from 27th place last year. Yeah, 27th place. And then this year making it to 6th place.
All right.
Now, this year has been a remarkable year for us, as you could imagine, from the tremendous growth and showing nothing but growth since last year. And our general idea is to encourage the students to gain skills and develop skills that will only benefit them. Transferable skills that they can take into their careers into the future, no matter it being able to do mechanical engineering, electrical, civil, things like that, or being able to become prodigies when it comes to entrepreneurship or making their own business. Those are skills that we inspire throughout any robotics program within the district in any school here. From Tyrone to Triumph to, the high school, we encourage them to learn what's called polymathics, which is the ability to learn many skills and utilize them to complete tasks. Once you have adapted to the learning processes of such, you can learn and be capable of anything. And with this future in technology, it is required. Now, we have a demonstration prepared from these two leads over here, Dominic Gaines and Terrence Wilson, to show you a brief example of the robots.
Okay.
And also remember, these go from elementary all the way to high school, so there are 3 different competitions, right?
You can start robotics, from what I'm aware of, as low as 5th grade in our district, all the way up to your senior year. So yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dominic Gaines. I am the lead of right now controls for the Harper Woods Robotics team, which means I'm responsible for the electrical work behind the robots as well as programming them to make them actually move. So my job, along with the lead of mechanical Terrence Wilson, our job is to display to you the 3 levels of robotics that are within our school district. So our first level of robotics is FLL, which is the First Lego League. The First Lego League is a small, compact way of creating robots through Legos. And the robots that he displayed here, as Jordan had mentioned previously, our school used them pretty effectively. If I'm not mistaken, you said what place did they get?
Last year they were 15th place, this year they made it to 5th place.
5th place, so pretty good accomplishment. Our next level of robotics would be FTC, or First Tech Challenge, which is a step up from FLL because it's definitely bigger, more technical. It takes a lot more skills to do it. It's for our district, it's on a middle school level. Yeah, as you see, the robot that we have here was designed to take those yellow pieces that you saw it spit out called specimen, and it would deliver those across the field. And so our last level of robotics, which is our high school level, is FRC, which is First Robotics Competition. The robot that we have here is called Swerve. The Swerve chassis is made specifically to be able to perform in all directions. The chassis, which he will display now, the wheels, as you can see on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but they spin 360 degrees. And unlike the other chassis, which we didn't bring with us, we have a tank drive, which performs as a tank would, able to go forward, backwards, and turn using its wheels, and then mechanism drive, which allows you to go forward, backwards, left, and right as a crab walk. But the Swerve is most viable because it can do everything. So FRC, being on a high school level, it's really in depth to what you can do as a high schooler. There's not only just building the robot, there's programming the robot, doing electrical behind a robot. There's stuff that's not even for the robot. You got media with Jordan, well, his entire logistics team. It's more than building a robot, which is something that me personally, I like to display to the people at our school, that robotics is something that's really big, really broad, and there's not one set thing for you to do. There's so many more. And then collaborated with the CCI building, the amount of resources that we got from moving over there, it's really such a great program to be a part of. And I'm honestly glad that I've been in it, considering I've been in the robotics program since 4th grade throughout the Harperwood School District. So I've been here for a while, and I can tell you it's a great experience. I think that's about what I have to say. I'd like to say thank you.
Oh, and one more thing too, the kids are programming in Java, in C, and Basic.
C++,
so they're
yeah.
learning coding at the same time too. So to think about it, even to work in a plant nowadays, you got to know something about computers and something about robotics. So we're basically training kids for jobs that are here now and jobs that really still haven't even been created, but we know are going to use these technological skills to be able to perform those jobs.
That's
So-
definitely a big part of robotics, is that it prepares you for the future. I do the program behind the robots, and I plan to major in college cybersecurity and become an ethical hacker. And using the skills that I learned in robotics is just perfect. Learning Java, Python, C++, as you mentioned previously. Terrence, you are getting into aerospace engineering, right? Aerospace engineering from working on robotics. Jordan over here, he plans to get into military science to become a military logistics manager. So yeah, it's really, really, really big, especially
Brad.
career-wise.
What grade are you guys in?
We are all in 11th grade, going to the 12th grade in the fall. Thank
Before
you.
you guys leave, is there anyone else on council would like to ask a question of these young people? Or their mentor, teacher?
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
I just want to mention that you speak very well. I'm very impressed with your presentation, so thank you so much, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, it's very impressive, very nice. Gentlemen, how many people are on your team, and do you have like an outside mentor that comes in from a business that assists you with the project?
So, I'll do one question at a time then. We have, if I remember correctly, a total of 42 kids on the team. Consistent members would be 22, but 42 in general. And then the mentorship, currently we have Mr. Charles Hyman as our mentor. He's kind of an all-arounder, so I give him a lot of credit towards that. Then we have Mr. Lamar Copeland, who is another mentor of ours. He's in charge of the media production over at the CCI building, radio and television. I think that's what he said. And then we have Javon Odell, another coach of ours. He is currently in college for electrical engineering. And then we have a consistent volunteer, Mr. Stanas Bryan, who's another coach. Is he down as mentor? No. Oh. Outside of that, those are our only mentors, but we are very open towards volunteers and other people who are curious in coaching or mentoring, because as said before, robotics is very broad. It is a academic field that expresses so many different fields of what's the word I'm looking for? Endeavors that could allow you to progress in the future, from working at a factory or a plant, anything. So mentors can guide us anyway. I just recently recruited a mentor, or not recruited, went out of my way to ask somebody to mentor. She's an African studies teacher, and she'll try and help us on our speech to be better for meetings like this. So small things like that are what we consider.
Very
All
good.
right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Madam Mayor?
yes.
Oh, I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce our superintendent.
Excuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Since when did you become in charge of this meeting?
I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm honored to be here. Mr. Hyman was actually a student of mine at Crockett, so we've been together forever. And to see him progress to this point, I asked him, did he name them, the students the Three Musketeers? And it has this historical connotation, it really does. Very proud of robotics. It was really located in the high school, and it had outgrown the high school. So we moved it into the CCI Center, the College and Career Institute, knowing that you had space, but then you had the other technological advances that were there, but then they had a space of their own that it's just like a child when they're growing. When you get your space of your own, then you have an opportunity to grow. And that's exactly what happened. In conjunction with all the other programs that were there at the CCI Center. Currently, and this year, it's not a secret, we did have 100% graduation this year. 220 students did graduate. We had about $8 million in scholarships as well. We are currently building what we call the Excellence Institute. That building is about 10,000 square feet. It is on the north end of the football field. It will have a state-of-the-art workout facility, as well as nutrition and social emotional learning, in conjunction with our partnership with Corewell Health. The new clinic is in the high school. Corewell Health has pledged to continue to work with us. It will serve students from kindergarten through age 26. And in addition to that, they will be providing resources in the Excellence Institute with EMT, phlebotomy, as well as nursing. So we have an opportunity to move nursing into the high school, but also EMT into the Excellence Institute, and then also dietary, into the CCI Center. So they kind of collaborate with some of the programming that we have. But that's pretty much it. I don't want to dominate the entire process, but I'm proud of the Three Musketeers and Mr. Hyman and his efforts. Anyone has any questions?
Director, any questions here from the city council members?
I'd like to see another demonstration.
There you go.
Can Maria take a picture of it?
I'd have to ask, is there anything specific you want to see?
I want to see what its capabilities are, what it can do. I don't know if you have to put it down on the floor to see that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, no, it's the top.
Just the top one.
It's the one on the table.
Yep. Okay. As mentioned previously, this is our FTC robot, First Tech Challenge. It's our middle school level robot, and as soon as they're ready, I can show you guys a little more in depth of what it does. Now that we have it on the ground, we can drive it a little bit and show you more in depth what it does. You could put it. Just let me know when you guys are ready. So
Bringing
yeah,
you a
this
glass
is
of water, Ivory.
so this is our middle school level robot. It has a, if I'm not mistaken, so it has a slide on it which allows it to extend as you see. What it would do in a competition is there's two buckets. There's two buckets on one of the corners of our actual playing field, and it's able to pick up these pieces, these specimen. As you can see, it's going to come up to it and pick it up, in which case it'll be able to go back up, extend, and then it'll be able to drop into the bucket, which would count for scoring points in an actual competition. As mentioned, our middle school team reached second place this year, which definitely step up from previously. You want to spit it out? So yeah. Any questions?
Very cool.
All right.
Madam
Thank
Mayor,
you.
one more thing.
Thank you guys so very much. I think Maria would love to take a picture of you guys.
For the newsletter.
Huh?
For the newsletter.
Yeah, for the newsletter. Okay. Okay, Ivory, I think, wow, you beating me down there. I'll know the next time I allow you to have a
Lego bag. I had a old one man.
Come on, guys. Come on. Stand by. Young
Well,
people.
classroom activities with a busy teacher. If y'all decide to do your summer camp, it's TV3.
All right, thank you guys so very much. Very impressed. I would really get back to you. He lives in our- Y'all got it? Alrighty then, guys, as we're moving along, it's, I need an approval of, a motion to approve
Madam Mayor?
minutes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the minutes of the regular city council meeting held May 19th, and to receive and file the library board meeting minutes held on both April 17th and May 19th.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This takes us to the public comment on agenda items. You can come to the microphone and address agenda items only, not opinionated, not comments, something of in regards to the agenda only. So if you have anything, see no one moving, great. I need a resolution for the consent
Madam
agenda.
Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Make the resolution to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 8.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I just have one quick question, and this has to do, again, with Hannah Architects. I know that our original contract with them was for $211,600. Our project has expanded from the original, and we have paid approximately 2/3 of that contracted amount. Do we know whether all of this is gonna come in under contract? Are we anticipating that it's gonna come in under contract? I'm just curious what to
Yes,
expect.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
everything is going very well.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
okay, before we even start the consent agenda, I wanted to kind of explain a situation that, it happened last meeting, but we have a musical season that's coming up, a very action-packed musical season. Anybody that has dealt with entertainers knows that they can be fickle at times, and sometimes they don't show up, sometimes they do show up, but we have to have the money there for the entertainers. Now, what has taken place so far, and this is not a perfect method, but starting next year, we're gonna refine this a little bit better. But presently, what we're doing is we're sitting in a committee, and that committee is made up of myself, Leslie, the acting finance director, the department heads that are directly involved with whatever has to take place with the event or the musical event, and we are screening over the invoices and the expenses that are submitted by our Community Economic Development Director. What ultimately has to happen is when musicians play, whether we have horses at events, whatever takes place, when the service is rendered, that's when we want to make payment. We don't want to give payment beforehand because sometimes people don't show up. They don't honor their contracts. They get a better job offer at another event somewhere else. So we make sure that we have the money that we can give the entertainer or vendor the money, and expense reimbursements are going to be put on the City of Harper Woods official expense reimbursement form, where the employee has to sign off along with the city manager, the finance director, the department head. Those expenses are put on the employee's W-2 form at that point. The employee declares that if there's any misstatements, that they're going to be required to pay those amounts back. That's how we would like to proceed for this year, but going into next year, what I would like to propose, and this is just a suggestion, that we set up an entertainment department with a budget, and the mayor can appoint committee members to where we could find out what kind of entertainment we will be looking at in the summer months, and where everybody can sit down, everybody can see what is reasonable, what is not reasonable. I want to say they'll be very surprised at the cost of setups, stages, chairs, horses, I want to say PA systems, lighting, and such. And again, you know, we're open for suggestions here. We want to have as much transparency as we possibly can, and we want to have a good time, you know, in the city. I realize that we pay a lot in taxes. We've been cutting taxes in the city, but we've never had any kind of entertainment on this kind of scale that we're having now. So this is all new ground for us. I never thought that we would have problems spending money on entertainment since we never did that in the past. And again, open for suggestions, but we want to be civil about the, whole entire process so that everybody has a good time in the city of Harper Woods. We want to make this a special summer. And that's all I have to say, Mayor and Council.
Is there anyone else has anything else to say? All right, then this takes us back down to the consent agenda. No further discussion, roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
I have a question.
I'm getting to it.
I have a question. I noticed, I'm just curious, that we are paying new appearance for, I think I counted about 105 lawn cuts for the month of May. I'm wondering how many tags were given out in the month of May?
Heather?
That 105 people needed us to cut their grass. So overall, for the month of May, 1,100 tags were delivered to property owners that were either in violation of how they stored their garbage, how they placed their trash cans, they did not cut their grass, or they had garbage or refuse out at an unauthorized time. 80% of those tags were for grass ordinance violations. Wow. So over 800, just for the month of May. I am happy to say we only ended up cutting a little over 100 of them. So 700 people stepped up, cut the grass. You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, Ms. Frank, please.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, that takes us to old business, which we have none. So let's take us to new business, but we also got to make an addition to the agenda. Is that, we do that now? Because that's coming under your order?
We could save that for the very end if you want.
Okay, we need a motion to add it to the agenda anyway.
Yes,
And so it would be number 8 on your new business.
okay.
I make the motion to add it to the agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so the, it has been added, so
Okay.
when you get to it.
Okay, item G1, appointment of library director. Mayor and council, as you are aware, the library board has been actively seeking a replacement for the recently departed library director. Following the review of the applicant submissions and interviews, the library board has selected Kelly Guyman for this position. She is currently the library's youth librarian. I have asked Ms. Guyden to be present this evening to meet everyone, and it is my opinion that she will be a valuable asset to the community. Attached for your review is the employment agreement that was prepared for her, and it is consistent with our current compensation plan for employees. It is my recommendation that the agreement be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Make the resolution to approve the employment agreement for Library Director Kelly Guyman in content and form, and further to authorize the interim city manager to sign the agreement.
Support.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, Madam Mayor,
Yes?
I have a question. I'm very excited about the new director and all that. When I was reading through it, it mentioned that they have like 37.5 hours of, and I'm used to the full-time job being 40 hours a week. Why is this one 37.5 versus a 40? What is that?
Well, it's actually a paid lunch in there, so that's not a big deal there.
Because usually if you
Yeah.
get the 30, less than 40,
Yeah.
they part-time, but here this is full-time, so.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
anything over 32 hours, Mr. Toussaint, is considered full-time. Anything
Yeah.
over 32 hours is considered full-time.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that the entire board was highly, they all agreed to hire Ms. Guyman as the director. And I know I've heard good things from library employees about Ms. Guyman, so I'm excited about this. I also wanted to thank Mrs. Todd for the work that she's done in our library, and that she
Absolutely.
assured me this afternoon that she's going to help Ms. Guyman come on board fully, and I'm thrilled at that. So I think that we've got a really great process in place and two wonderful people who can get us moving forward at the library.
And Mayor, I'd like to make a comment too. Kelly, change the magazines in the library.
All right, so would you step forward and introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, my name is Kelly Guyman. I've had the pleasure of serving as a youth librarian for the last 10 months, and I've had a lot of help. John, you wrote a letter of support for a grant that I authored to improve the exterior of the library, to introduce a seating area primarily. Vivian, I've met you several times with little Artie, and I've met the robotics team who's here earlier. We've worked with them quite a bit. They held a program at the library in October. And they've been really instrumental with connecting with the schools too. Jordan in particular helped us coordinate a mural in the teen area of the library, which was done last May. So if you haven't seen it, you should pop over. They helped design it and execute it, so that was really fun. But it's been an absolute pleasure to serve as a youth librarian, and I look forward to continue to be involved with the library.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Anyone has any questions? Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Ms. Todd,
You're welcome.
we cannot thank you enough. We are deeply grateful for you stepping up to the plate in our time of need, and truly, truly appreciate your help and your assistance that you have done with us, you have did for us. And I know you were anxious to get back to your retirement, but I truly appreciate you stepping up and helping us through the time of need. And you did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I know several of you know that I was in this community for a very long time. I raised my children in this community. They went to that library. Parks and Rec, we were just very involved. And so when the opportunity came, I was more than happy to help out. And I'm also more than happy to help Kelly. She's going to do a fantastic job. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
Vote.
I need to vote. Yep. All righty now, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Oh, yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Definitely.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G2, proposal for rate increase for engineering services. Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, Inc. Mayor and Council, our engineering firm, Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, Inc., AEW, is requesting an increase in rates that matches the 2024 Detroit Metropolitan Area Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. The amount of the increase is 3.1, and it would be effective starting July 1st, 2025. Considering the long-term outstanding service provided to our community and their reasonable approach to rate increases, I request that we authorize the rate increase as proposed on the attached hourly change rate sheet. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make a resolution to accept the 3.1% rate increase proposal dated May 23rd, 2025 from engineering firm Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, Inc., effective July 1, 2025.
Support.
Support. Okay, discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I know John had talked about the, what they proposed, but I see this across the board. Grossman Park, same thing, 3.1, 3.2, 3.5%. So we're staying in the ballpark of everybody else, what's happening out there.
Yeah, and we have Ryan Kern here from
No, Ryan, you
AEW.
cannot get a raise.
If there's any additional questions anybody has, Ryan can answer them.
Does anyone else have any questions? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G3, appointment of representative to the Grosse Pointe Harper Woods Active Adult Commission. Mayor and council, as you recall, the city entered into an interlocal agreement for joint senior services with the Grosse Pointe communities to support the continued operation of the Helm Senior Center. The agreement requires the creation of an active adult commission, and as part of its governance structure, it is necessary to appoint a representative to the committee. Each community will maintain one representative. This appointment is essential to ensure the committee is fully constituted and can effectively carry out its oversight and advisory responsibilities. The representative will serve as a key liaison, contributing to strategic decision-making, policy development, and organizational accountability. Timely appointment will help maintain momentum and fulfill the governance obligations outlined during the committee's approval process. If you are all in agreement, I would like to be willing to serve as the representative for Harper Woods. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the resolution. By resolution to appoint the interim city manager, John Samansky, as the City of Harper Woods representative on the Active Adult Commission as required by the interlocal agreement for joint senior services.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I noticed in our paperwork and our support that Harper Woods will only have a representative for 1 year right now, and then next year we'll be appointing someone who will be there for 3 years. And so I just wanted to make that point to people who may not be aware of how this is operating. Some communities will have someone appointed this year for 3 years, others for 2 years, and the reason is it's launching, and so they want to have, you know, rotation of representatives. But I also wanted to just mention that I want to make certain that Harper Woods residents get material regarding programs that are available at the Helm, because I know sometimes we don't get all the information that our residents
Right.
could benefit from. And so with having someone on this commission, hopefully will mean that we will be kept in the loop.
I agree, and I think one of the reasons that the suggestion that John be the representative right now, it's in the early stages and it's still formulating. And anything to do with money, I would like him on top of that, because he knows money. And so we want to make sure that we are all getting what we need out of this millage. It's a new thing, and everybody's new to this at the table. And you need somebody that has a financial backing, not just because you're a council person or a mayor. You need to have somebody that can understand finances. And that's why I suggested that John be our liaison, because I trust his financial savvy, okay? We wouldn't be in the position we are in today had it not been for the way him and his department works. Okay, so with saying that, I will make sure that the Helm understand we don't have to wait for John to get on board to get to that first meeting. I will call them tomorrow and make sure that they ship us everything so citizens can pick up information from the Helms and all here at City Hall.
Thank you.
All right, yes.
I totally agree with Councilwoman Sawicki on this and everybody on this. And I'm glad to see, I was looking at our contributions to the Helm. But at least we're not being hit like we were hit by the Adoption Administration, and this seems more of a more favorable contribution. And also, I'm proud to also say that I've been working a bit with the Helm also, because I deliver food and I work with them. I deliver food to some of the residents. They've given me names for them to also have food, so I've expanded my program to include the Helm also.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCrat?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G4, second reading and adoption, ordinance number 2025-02, Harper Woods zoning ordinance. Mayor and council, with the publication requirements having been met, we can proceed with the adoption of the zoning ordinance. This has been reviewed by our planning consultants, commissioners, and the building inspector. A copy of this ordinance has been provided to you previously, and due to its size, I did not provide an additional copy for you here. If you would like a copy of this ordinance, it is available in the clerk's office and will be on the city's website for review. It is recommended that this ordinance be adopted. And before we go into that, I want to say that there's a lot of changes that have came up. There's a lot of changes that need to be part of this zoning ordinance. If we need to have a third reading or a fourth reading, that's not a problem. There's a lot. Councilmember Sawicki brought up a lot of things that need to be incorporated, okay, in this, I want to say, a zoning ordinance, and we'll get them in there. We can amend this every year, every 6 months. So it's a work in progress, and however the council wants to adopt it, with or without the changes, we can do whatever the council's pleasure. So, Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Okay. And we have a McKenna representative here, so would you come and any discussions that you may have?
Should we get it on the table first? Madam Mayor, let me offer the resolution so we can get it on the table for discussion.
Okay.
Okay. I'll offer the resolution to place for a second reading and potentially for adoption. Ordinance number 2025-02 entitled Harperwood Zoning Ordinance, and further to direct the city clerk to publish a notice of this in accordance with city charter requirements, and further that this ordinance will be made available to the public for review and purchase through the city clerk's office.
Support.
Okay. Okay, now we're open for discussion, so starting with you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know I brought up a number of questions. I was on the committee that met a number of times concerning the zoning ordinance, but of course that wasn't in its fully published format. And so I did have a few questions that I think were forwarded over to you. And so the first of all, I wanted to mention that I would find it very helpful, and I imagine that our other groups would find it helpful to have page number of the definition following the items in the chart, just because I found it very frustrating to try to locate some of the things there, and I think that would be a simple kind of addition. But there are some definitions that I could not locate, and so I'm hoping that the definitions, those 4 definitions, would be added. One was for live-work, the other was for a single-family cluster, the third was for personal service establishments, and the fourth was public and semi-public institutional buildings and uses. And while I could come up with my own definition, I thought it would be useful to have one that's formal from you.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, council members, Madam Mayor. My name is Mario Ortega. I'm a senior principal planner with McKenna, and we have been working with the subcommittee of members of the Planning Commission and Council to come present to you tonight the second reading for the zoning ordinance. And Council Member Zwicky has provided some additional comments, and we do find that all of these comments, I can answer some of the questions you have as well with regards to some of the items as we'll get on that list real quickly. But definitely a lot of those two items you just mentioned are can be done, and I feel that they're supplemental to what's on the ordinance existing, because when it comes to the adding definitions in the list of uses that's permitted by zoning district, having those definitions referenced easily is something that we can normally do, and we usually do because we go through the ordinance before it's the final publication that goes online to include hyperlinks. So something like that, it can definitely be included as we go through and supplement the ordinance, the handwritten ordinance, excuse me, the hard copy ordinance with the digital version. So that's definitely not a problem, and it's actually very helpful because the whole purpose of this ordinance is to make it more user-friendly. The intent, the city was given this grant from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority to make this more user-friendly, and we feel like we've done that, and so this is a very good suggestion to do that. Additional definitions, that's definitely can be very important and can be done because if it's not listed in the zoning ordinance, then it's typically in a standard dictionary definition. However, these particular terms that you pointed out are more zoning related. So we do feel it would be important to add those. And then to just go down your list, the next thing, if I may, with regards to your questions, you're concerned about how with regards to the presented zoning map in front of you, certain uses would no longer be permitted in the district that would be established for them. For example, the hotel that's on Harper, it's designated in what's called as mixed use 1 district, and technically hotels wouldn't be permitted. So what that is it's a standard issue that occurs whenever ordinances are adopted, and this would be considered legally non-conforming, meaning just because the city changes the ordinance doesn't mean that the existing uses have to go away. We give them the benefit of the doubt that everything they've done was legally established at the time, and it has been in regards to the hotel. Everything there has been legally established. So what this means is when this eventually gets adopted, the hotel and things like the vehicle service uses on Kelly, and then like the wireless communication facilities in Salter Park and those types of things, the churches, they're considered legally non-conforming, so they can be bought and they can be sold. They can be modified within their existing footprint, but then typically those type of uses aren't within your ordinance. They're not allowed to expand, meaning that the footprint of the building doesn't get any larger. Because the intent with legal nonconforming and the intent with not listing these uses in those districts is to eventually see them go away, to eventually see them. So that's why we establish it that way. But one other key aspect of this is that, for example, if one of the, like for example, if the hotel became vacant for a certain amount of time, it can be on the market and available for up to a 12-month period. That's in your current zoning ordinance. And if it were to, as long as it gets picked up by a new operator and reestablished as a hotel, then it can continue. So it's not taken away. They only lose your legal non-conforming status if it's more than 12-month period in which it hasn't been operated as such of a use. So that's another thing. A couple other questions that the council member had was, we do list murals as painted art on side of buildings. We permit them in this draft in 2 different districts, the MU2 and this downtown district, or the other commercial district. Right now, it's not listed in MU1. It was just a choice made by the committee at that time, and it's something that if you'd like to see that also printed in that other district, the MU1. So the MU2 district is a mixed-use district to essentially establish along Kelly Road to allow for more higher density, more residential and commercial options on Kelly. MU1 is a new designation for the zoning district on Harper, and so in that particular situation, we just listed it not. Murals not on that district. If we'd like, you can list them as special use or not at all, or as permitted. And then you had a question about the screening of certain particular types of equipment. We have a requirement there that whenever anyone installs mainly mechanical equipment, air conditioners, HVAC systems, they typically need to be screened from view from the adjacent vehicle corridors. Right now, it's another part of the ordinance doesn't require the screening for solar panels. What probably the best thing to do is add a third paragraph, subparagraph on page 63 that would explicitly exclude solar panels from being screened. It also kind of defeats the purpose to screen them, put shadows on solar panels. It doesn't make any difference. Plus, solar panels typically don't get high enough where they become obtrusive or something, you know, visually unappealing. So something as simple as add that third paragraph, once again, would be something that's just supplemental. It dots that I and crosses that T a little more. And then finally, one of the issues she brought up was the fact that short-term rentals technically aren't referenced in the zoning ordinance. The city does have Article 6, which is the short-term rental regulations. Within that article, it specifically says that short-term rentals are permitted in residential districts. The article in there is very good because it goes into the licensing requirements and all the specific requirements that anybody that wishes to operate a short-term rental or an Airbnb in the city, what they have to do. In addition to being only in the residential district, there's other good things in there like a setback. There's a 1,000-foot setback between those, and there's also certain methods of operation, and also limiting the number of bedrooms, limiting the number of occupants in these Airbnbs. So that's why the zoning ordinance to get into it, because a lot of those issues were typically covered in the licensing ordinance. So what we could do, though, just to once again, dot that I and cross that T, is list short-term rentals and list them as permitted in the residential districts. But it would then, and obviously the existing licensing ordinance would remain in place, and anyone that wanted to establish one would have to obtain that license. So that's just an example of some of the various types of land use things that were modified and looked at. And so once again, I do feel these are supplemental, and they just add to further clarify ordinances that are already on the books. So as the city manager mentioned, you can, I can answer any other questions you might have, or if you'd like, you can adopt them with these changes, or we can consider them at a future meeting, whatever the request of the council would be.
Anyone has any questions? Yes?
Yes, kind of have two questions, but I'll ask the first one. Because you talked about zones MU1 and MU2. How many zones do we have?
So there are going to be, I believe it's 3 different mixed-use corridors, with commercial uses. The MU1, as I said, is a moderate, we call it moderate density mixed use along Harper. MU2 is moderate density along Kelly. The CR is called regional commercial, so that's for the other types of commercial uses along Vernier mainly. So that's for those are uses that are more auto-oriented. So your drive-throughs, your gas stations, your car washes, those are mainly focused in the CR district. And then you have 3 different residential districts, the R1, R2, R3. We called them low density, moderate density, and then medium density. And within these districts, it reflects the underlying lot sizes of the city. You know, so we have some lots that are more in the 40-foot wide size, and those are the R2. The slightly larger ones that are a little more towards the center of town, those are the R1. And then R3, we call it medium density, but that's for the other type of housing alternatives, such as townhouses, but also the apartments we have in the city. So those are the 3 there. And then we have the PUD, which is those options that's already been on the books and already have been fully utilized by the city, for example, in the redevelopment of Eastland Mall. That's under a planned unit development where anyone that would like to establish something that's looking for a unique mix of uses that's not covered by the ordinance, but wants to establish something that will provide a substantial benefit to the city through either design or through its mix of uses or through other attributes the city's master plan wants to see established in the city, could be utilized under the PUD. So it's a long way to get to 7. To answer your question, for 7.
All right. Well, that'll do. That's good.
Yes.
I just want to point out that 3 of us sat on a committee, along with a member of the Planning Commission, along with our city manager, along with someone from the MEDC, along with several representatives from McKenna. So, and we're all residents. So we sat for, I think there was 8 hours of meetings that we were at, where we went over every single detail of this zoning and gave our recommendations, because we're residents, this is what we think is best for our community. The member of the Planning Commission was very knowledgeable. He gave a lot of really great suggestions. There wasn't a lot of arguing, but there was a lot of hey, this, you know, this might be the best way to do this. And so it was led by McKenna and the MEDC, but it was the input from actual residents that how we got to this end result.
Anyone else with any further discussion? Yes.
Yes, doesn't this take us another step closer to our redevelopment ready to make us more eligible for grants and things, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
The city is on the process
That's
of
why
becoming redevelopment
we're doing
ready, and that
this.
will open up, this is one more check-in on that list, so that open up more additional grants from the Michigan Economic Development
Right.
Council.
You're saying all the right things.
Doing my best.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor? I'd like to amend the resolution to also include the map, which was not mentioned in the resolution. And personally, I feel that with the changes that were mentioned tonight, I would be comfortable adopting this. But I don't know if the rest of council wants to see a final version before it goes forward.
I have a question here too, on the map, getting to the map. I noticed that some of, well, in one specific instance where the color coding needed to be changed on R2, and it was for Baker Hop Insurance Agency over there, that's by Anita and Harper. And we have that coded for like passive services, like an engineering firm, accounting, insurance, and we had somebody during the week ask if they could put a hair and nail salon in there. So it's, that needs to be looked at too, and recolored, the coding.
Is it, I believe that on the new map, it would be mixed use 1, correct?
I think it's 2 listed
Yeah.
on the map. So,
Oh,
I
on
mean, that's
Kelly and-
something that needs to be reviewed.
Well, if it was mixed use 2, definitely, and mixed use 1, I do believe as well. In either of the mixed use categories, the idea is to allow for commercial uses and then to allow for some residential uses if someone wants to develop like a 2 or 3 story building. But when it comes to like a nail salon, that actually goes to the idea of what a definition would that be, and that's considered a personal service establishment. Personal service establishment is someplace where someone walks in and they're, the employees on the staff provide them a service, whether it be like tailoring a suit or doing their nails or a tanning salon or getting their haircut. Those are all personal service establishments permitted by right in the MU districts. So it would be actually permitted by right under the new zoning map. But we can confirm that to make sure
Yeah.
that is indeed the fact.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right.
Maybe we should push this off. Should we push this off and have them give a finalized version to us?
I would like to see, yeah, like a finalized version. I mean, however many times we have to go through this process, 2nd reading, 3rd reading, 4th reading, you know, just to make sure we have everything included.
Well, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
well, if we keep going in that way and not doing any adoption, we won't be able to check that box off on our redevelopment recovery, can we?
When does it need to be checked off, in July?
July.
Can we adopt, have a resolution where we adopt it with the revisions?
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
We have.
yes.
Okay,
That's what's on the
okay,
table.
then that's fine.
And I would recommend that, yes,
Okay.
a resolution adopted with revisions as discussed
Okay.
this evening.
Okay.
All right.
Sharon, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we need a motion to
You
change
got
it? No, we just leave it, we just add that to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the
All
table.
right, all, resolution, roll call vote?
Yes, you got it. You got it. Okay. Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Sure.
I'm thinking about it, yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item G5, award of bid, Roscommon Pocket Park Project.
Say that twice.
Yes. Yeah. Mayor and council, attached is the recommendation of the contract award for the Roscommon Pocket Park for city council consideration. The project came in slightly higher than anticipated. However, the portion eligible for Act 51 funding for the work within the Roscommon right-of-way came in lower than expected, with a total of $38,831.63 of the total bid. Based upon a review of the bids received, it was noted that the cost for the pavilion, fencing, benches, trash receptacles, and picnic tables came in higher than anticipated. If the city wants to consider reducing the total cost of the project, one suggestion would be to reduce the number of items by 1/2 within the park from what was originally proposed. Benches, it would amount to an $11,800 reduction. Trash receptacles, $4,900 reduction. Picnic table, $7,303.50 reduction. A bike rack, $1,670 reduction. Total reduction with a revision to these items would be $25,673.50. There are a few other items that could be considered. Eliminate the small playground that was proposed, $28,847.50. However, to keep the area open for installation of a playground at a future time when funding may be available. Eliminate the wrought iron fence due to high cost across the frontage of the park and keep only the two sides. That would be a reduction of $11,500. There is an amount of $4,388.60 for tree trimming and removal. And I know Heather's not going to want to hear this. It is possible DPW staff could take care of this and remove it from the contract with Premier Group. I will have Ryan Kern from AEW to answer any questions that may be asked by the City Council, but I recommend the approval of the lowest bid submitted by Premier Group LC with or without the revisions. It's up to City Council what they want to do.
Well, how much of a difference? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Let me get it on the table. Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to accept the low bid submitted by Premier Group Associates of Detroit, Michigan, in an amount not to exceed $298,273.31 for the Roscommon Pocket Park Project 180-329.
Support.
Okay, discussion.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
My grandson and I have spent a number of hours at the Grosse Pointe Neighborhood Playground on Ridgemont. It's called Shane Trombley Park, and it was revised in 2023. It's a beautiful park, but it encompasses the equivalent of 9 houses, right? Ours is 2 houses. In their entire park, they have, I think, 3 picnic tables in what's considered their pavilion area, right? Our park, which is obviously considerably smaller, calls for 6 tables in that same amount, in that space. That's far too, it's like we have overbuilt this park. In the Shane Trombley Park, rather than having, I don't know if the construction is supposed to be brick or it's very similar in size to the pavilions that we have at Salter. But what they have are substantial posts with sailcloth that is a canopy over their area. It's not intended to be a picnic park. It's intended just to be a space that their residents use. And the playground area, a lot of toddlers enjoy the area, and it's very quiet, which I think our residents would be pleased with. But I think part of that comes from the rubberized mat that they have in the play area that absorbs some sound, I'm sure. I did want to mention that because I feel as if we could reduce the park, you know, the facility, the stuff that we have going in there, to meet our needs, and not overbuild it the way it seems to be. So they have 2 bicycle racks scheduled, they have 4 garbage bins, they have, I don't know, 6 benches maybe? Just a lot of stuff that's going into this relatively small space. And I really think that we could reduce the amount of items going in that space, make it very simple and useful to the residents of the area.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So, I had taken Councilman Toussaint on a field trip to that park. So today I went to Salter to get an idea of how big a 30 by 30 shelter is. It's as big as the shelter at Salter Park. I'm like, that seems really large for 2 lots and 6 picnic tables. We're not renting this out for like we do with the other shelters. So what do we need 6 picnic tables? So then I went over to that park. What's it called? Shane Trombley. And they have poles with these sails. I actually took a picture. And they had 4 picnic tables under them. No one was at them. They have a walking path. It's a much larger park. They have a walking path. There was 5 benches in the entire park. They had, in the center of the park was a tot lot. There was a few kids there. The number one thing they were doing was playing in the sand. What else was there? And they had no metal fence. They had a cyclone fence that went around the whole thing. So that's gotta be less than putting in what they were describing.
Oh, yeah.
But I want this park completely fenced and be able to close it
Right.
off at night so the people, so I don't wanna go with 2 sides. And they did not have I know we've kind of agreed with the residents, but they didn't have a wooden fence on the back. It was just a taller cyclone fence that separated the backyards of the homes. But around the park was probably, it was a little bit taller than your normal cyclone fence, but it was black. It was attractive. They had 2 pillars with a gate that they could lock right there at the corner. But when you think like it's a bigger space, they had 5 benches, and so maybe to go over there and look and just maybe bring some of these costs down and what the residents are really gonna use it for.
Did you get that, Ryan?
Got that all right?
Okay, so, yes,
I disagree with some of that. I think if the neighbors are gonna have maybe a neighborhood party, or somebody wants to have a meeting, NEDC or somebody wants to meet there, whatever, I think we need at least 4 picnic tables. We probably only need 1 bike rack. I think reducing down to 2 trash receptacles is too much. I think at least 3 trash receptacles and at least 4 benches. I do agree, maybe like the sides could have cyclone fence. The sides in the back could have a 5-foot cyclone fence, to save on money, and just for attractiveness, just do the, iron fence in the front. Just to make it look good from the street. So I think, and then definitely if the DPW could handle the trimming and removal, that would be helpful as well. But I think we could cut costs without going that dramatic. And I see the potential. I mean, I think it's a shelter. If we do have the picnic tables and things there, that could be rented out and bring some income to the city. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. And I just don't think we need to make those dramatic cuts. Because if we don't put in the picnic tables and things now, and then later we want to add a picnic table, it's going to cost a lot more. So I think we need a minimum of 4 picnic tables and 1 bike rack, 3 trash receptacles, 4 benches, and cyclone fencing around the sides and the back, 5 foot, and a wrought iron fence in the front.
So,
So I don't know how much that would cost, but I think that would save us some money, but
does it mean that we
Get up.
we have to go back to the drawing boards right now?
it's not that much. It's not that big of a deal. Somebody could figure it out in 12 minutes.
Yeah, the resolution calls for not to exceed the 298.
Right.
So we could kind of, take a look at it, see what works, what is overcrowding, what is not, and still be in the ballpark here. We wouldn't have to hold anything back. Ryan, how long would it take to put this up? About 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, if you'd come up, please.
You're asking the time of construction, how long it would
Yeah,
take?
just a ballpark.
It's good. Getting the materials is gonna take the longest time. There's definitely gonna be some
Yeah.
lead times getting the materials. Probably, I would say a month to build the
Okay.
entire project. By the time you've got concrete, concrete sidewalk, that's gonna take a week to cure that. There's gonna be footings for the pavilion, that's gotta cure as well. I'd say about a month or so.
Madam Mayor, I have a comparison. Up north, we have one lot, which it's thinner than this other lot, about half the size. They have a pavilion, they have 6 picnic tables. They have 1 bike rack, 3 trash receptacles and some benches. And that all fits on one lot, so I'm not sure why people are stressed out about it fitting on the double lot. Those lots are extra big there. There's plenty of space for all of this.
Madam Mayor, I just want to remind everyone, I guess, that when the neighbors were consulted about what was going in here, their concern was that they didn't want to have a lot of noise, for one thing. And I think the idea of having this area that would be primarily picnic tables would draw a lot of, I guess, people from other areas that would tend to abuse that space. I know that when we have summer parties at Salter, in those pavilions, it really gets loud. And personally, I just don't think that the idea is to create a picnic park, but instead to create a little neighborhood area
Rest
where the
park.
kids could play and, we're not gonna be renting out space for parties, because that just would lead to a nightmare for the neighbors that are surrounding that area. So that's my thought.
Madam
Okay.
Mayor?
First of all, what I really wanted to know, would this also include the back part where we were talking about the drainage?
It does, we did
Yes.
include the drainage into the bid, yes.
French drain.
French
Yeah,
drain, and-
that-
yes.
Would A&EW be doing that, or is the person,
The contract, that's part of the project, yeah, it's been designed, we've designed that into the project, yes.
okay?
Yep.
All right. I just wanted to make sure, because that was one of the stickling points.
Yes,
About that whole place, was to be able to have good drainage there.
correct.
All right, Mr. Toussaint?
Well, it's just interesting. We kind of almost like we're going back to the drawing board almost. But the one thing I want to throw my little 2 cents in there. Since it's such a small little area, I'm still saying we don't really need the expense of a pavilion there. Now, I live on Danbury Lane, and we have a park down at the end, and I thought maybe we needed a pavilion for that, but city management said, no, we didn't. We just needed some trees. But back to the point that Councilwoman Zawicki was saying, it's a small little area, snuggle right in that area, and we're not really trying to attract a whole lot of people. And I just think the pavilion is just, I don't think you really need it, but
Right.
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, so if awarded tonight, we could certainly work with the contractor to look at a smaller pavilion, or like you mentioned, the other part there with the sail, the canopy sail, we've seen that in the past too. We could definitely work with the contractor to see what other options there are and what the reduction in cost would be, and we could definitely bring that back to you to basically approve what we're proposing. As far as the amenities, with the proposal there was to cut the number of amenities in half. By doing that, you would have 6 benches, 2 trash receptacles, 3 picnic tables, and a bike rack. That could be reduced further if you wanted to, but that's cutting it in half from what we originally proposed.
And this would also include a walking path?
And the yes, correct, walking path around the perimeter of the property.
Is there any further discussion? Yes.
Yes, could you repeat your list again after the cuts, what it would be?
After 6, it would go, benches would be 6,
Right.
2 trash receptacles, 3 picnic tables, and 1 bike rack.
Okay.
And then the potential of reducing the size of the pavilion or a smaller type of covering.
Okay, so my only concern is if you have the picnic tables there, you're going to get parties and people, because 3 picnic tables is enough to have a nice little party.
Yeah.
So if you
30
don't put
people.
the picnic tables up there, just take those, does not have them at all, you're going to reduce some of that intention of people doing that. If you just have the park benches, fine. But it should be like a little park that you're just coming in to sit in and watch your child play and relax. But I think you should, it's just my feelings, I think you should exclude the picnic tables altogether so that you don't have that temptation, or if you do, just insist on having a picnic table, only have one. Don't have, just take that temptation away.
I totally agree. I think that's a great idea.
Madam Mayor?
That's a great idea.
Madam Mayor, I have a really quick. Let's get this taken care of, get this park built, and we.
Thank you.
What we put into it.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're gonna
we
lose
can
some
put
money.
a car in it if we want
Right.
to. If we just get it built, we can put whatever we want to put into it. That's not what Brian's here about. Picnic tables are picnic tables. We've got to get this thing built first.
Yeah.
And that's.
The pavilion is.
The pavilion, yes, I understand, but the nitpicking on a picnic table here, a garbage can here, that and there, we're gonna need more garbage cans, whatever. But again, let's just get it built. We can work on the pavilion, and if you wanna do the sail thing, I know the Grosse Pointe Woods has a lot of problems with that sail thing, just because it tends to fall a lot. That being said, it is really cool looking, but let's just get it built first. And what do we put into it, we put into it then.
Yeah.
Amenities like garbage cans, if people can bring their own chairs, that's fine. But, let's work on that later, let's just get it built, the thing built, and go from there. That's my feeling, sorry.
I support you on that one, yes.
Let's
Madam
see
Mayor.
how it's being used and then add to it if need be. Start
Work
small
on
and
the-
then add.
Work on the pavilion
Yeah.
part of it, because that's a big thing, but other than that, what we put into it.
Playground.
Yeah, and a playground, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, my biggest concern, and I guess, is where we could make cuts to the overall cost, because we've got the 200 grand from, our grant, but the additional 100 grand would be from the city, and that's a lot of money to put out,
Well,
but-
it's not, it's from the street fund,
Act
right?
51
Yeah.
money,
So,
gas and weight
Yeah.
tax.
For permanent park,
All right,
it's
well, I
gonna
think
be
it's
And that's
nice.
pretty- okay. All right, can we have a roll call vote, Ms. Franks?
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes,
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes,
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
All right.
Okay, item
Thank
G6.
you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
earned your
Yeah.
money today.
Item G6, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Subrecipient Agreement. Mayor and Council, attached for your review is the subrecipient agreement between the City of Harper Woods and Wayne County. Approval of this agreement allows the city to be reimbursed for the $20,000 in expenditures the city incurred while paying the helm, $14,000 for senior services, and payments to Pat, $6,000 for senior transportation services. The Director of Economic and Community Development has provided this agreement and will be available to answer any questions. It is my recommendation that this agreement be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the resolution to approve the sub-recipient agreement for Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, between the City of Harper Woods and Wayne County, and further to authorize the acting city manager to sign the agreement.
Support.
Discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that this money basically just flows through us, but I know in the past with CDBG money, we used to also get some money for, I think, home assistance. I don't know if any of
No.
that is available to the city any longer.
It's the Wayne County
Wayne County is doing that part of it? All
for the
right,
past 3 years.
right, and I seem to remember that, but I didn't know if we took advantage of, or were able to take advantage of anything for our residents.
No,
No?
it all goes to Wayne County.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any further discussions? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G7, renewal of WCA assessing contract. Mayor and council, as most of you are aware, our contract with WCA Assessing is due to expire at the end of June 2025. WCA performs a wide variety of assessing and assessing-related services for our city. Some, but not all services, include inspecting, revising, and reevaluating property records with new construction, demolition, and property splits. They perform neighborhood market studies, land value analysis, and support the city during tax appeals. They also attend staff and city council meetings when requested. Their new contract proposal is virtually the same as the one we have in place today. The only exception is a 4.75 overall increase for services. The new contract is for a 3-year period. It is my recommendation for this contract to be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended, and I also believe we have Holly Koza sitting back there, our assessor for the city, for the council to ask any questions, should there be any.
Okay, I need a resolution?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
A resolution approved the 3-year contract renewal with WCA Assessing effective July 1st, 2025 in the amount of $80,440 annually for the first year, $84,462 annually for year 2, and $88,685 annually for the last year, payable in 12 equal installments for each year, and further to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the agreement on behalf of the city of Harper Woods.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? I just need to be clear. Are they getting a 4.75% increase over 3 years? Or is it 4.75 per year?
Per year.
Per year.
Well, then I have a question, because we approved an increase that was based on actual, I guess, supporting information of 3.1% for Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick. And this is a 4.7, which comes out to like 13% or 14% over 3 years, which seems kind of high.
Well, we pay AEW hundreds of thousands of dollars for projects. Our assessing is nowhere near that. So, Holly, would you want to explain?
Yeah, so this includes health insurance, liability insurance, and employee wages. Probably the biggest is due to employee wages. So there's a shortage of assessors throughout Michigan. So supply demand, so to keep our staff competitive, we've had to, as many communities had to, increase what they pay assessors these days. People are retiring, nobody's coming up behind us, so that's part of it. And as well, as the city probably knows, health insurance is a big cost as well. So it's the primary reasons.
It comes out to about $4,000, $4,500 a year. It's not excessive at all.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Franks.
Councilwoman Constantino.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the last item on the agenda here, we made a motion to add the request to approve payment to the Michigan Municipal League for the annual renewal of workers' compensation coverage. And Mayor and Council, the city is in receipt of the new invoice for its Workers' Compensation Fund renewal for 2025-2026. The premium for this year is $52,197. Although the total estimate of this premium invoice is $135,971, the city has received a dividend credit of $83,774 to be applied against the premium, which nets the final amount due to $52,197. I recommend approval of invoice number 2090207 for the total amount of $52,197 to the Michigan Municipal League.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the resolution to approve payment to the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund in the amount of $52,197 for workers' compensation insurance from July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And further, in that this is self-insurance pooled funds, that comprehensive bidding will be waived in accordance with city policy.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
And that concludes the city manager's reports.
All right, and that takes us to call the audience. You have 3 minutes to identify yourself and state what you'd like to talk about.
Mayor, I have to read this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before we start,
Before we start.
I have a public comment submission. Pursuant to the American with Disability Act, I want the following public comment read on my behalf at the City Council meeting. This has been submitted by Mr. Charles Blackwell, and he says, "Good evening. The city should close down the Park Crest Inn on Harper Avenue as a nuisance. The Park Crest Inn is essentially a scandalous brothel where a lot of prostitution goes on." I wonder how he knows that. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
I mean, I'm surprised. Has he ever been here?
He lives in Oakland County somewhere, so.
Okay, all right. Please, if you step up to the mic, identify yourself. Mr. Schenberg, I don't have to give you first bids anymore, huh?
You know who I am. Sorry, Madam Mayor, but I have a bone to pick with you. Last meeting, you said that the Harper Woods Community Center is just a building. Well, that has a lot of fond memories for thousands and thousands and thousands of people that lived in this city. I got 3 of them from my family alone. The first one is in '76, my brother, older brother, had his wedding reception there, 350 people. Myself, great day for me, going back a few years, 1978. On top, Harper Woods High School, class of '78, prom at the Harper Woods Community Center, best day. Now the third one, Harper Woods Little League. We used to have our thing in there, we call them meetings, but we used to take the teams for the next year. And this right here, this is my accolade, because people always ask me, what the hell do you do for this city? Here it is right here. You see that seal right there? That's from the state of Michigan, that seal, and I'm gonna read this. State of Michigan, Michigan Senate Special Tribute. Let it be known that this is a great pleasure to honor the players, coaches, and the manager of the San Diego Padres for the victory of the 1982 Harper Woods Little League Senior Division National League champions. By culminating this season with the league championship, these young ball players have won the respect of their fellow athletes and the entire community. Within this competition, keen among the teams in their division, these 13 through 15-year-old ball players never yield to the pressures of the game and clinch their league championship with the most respectable season record. We only lost 1 game. Now, let's see where I was. Armed with the good pitching, tough defense, and run-producing ability, which are the essence of championship caliber play at all levels of American national pastime, these 13 talented ball players proved their worthiness for the title over the course of their league schedule. Equally important, these young athletes consistently displayed the indispensable traits of sportsmanship, teamwork, and sacrifice, the hallmarks of truly great ball clubs. Achievement in any athletic endeavor requires the mastery of the fundamentals of the sport and the successful integration of those skills into the game. The Padres' talented roster of players have consistently displayed these attributes to all opponents and has gained their respect and admiration in the process. Certainly, the entire Harper Woods community takes pride in their accomplishments, with hopes for continued success in the future. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated in honor of the champion season of the San Diego Padres. Our best wishes and congratulations are extended to the following members of the team, which is my team, and I'm going to read them off, because these kids lived in this city, and their parents own houses in this city. Jim Zaccaro, Sergio Ivoni, Mike Lancaster. Well, let me finish this, please.
Thank you very much. Your time is up.
Oh, all right. Well, you want to do that? That's fine. But see, your accolades, you can have them all you want. But this is the proudest moment, because this was for the city of Harper Woods.
Thank you very much.
Signed by John C. Hertel, who lived in the city.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next person.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Janetta Tabron. I live on Rose Court. I am the Vice President of the NEDC Committee. And real quick, we have a meeting on Wednesday, June 11th at Johnston Park at 6:30. So come on out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Reginald Tabron from Rose Court. Just wanted to thank you for allowing these young people to come in to do their presentation. They did an excellent job. They articulated very well. And also, I want to let you also know that the boys baseball team won districts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they came a little short-handed with the regionals.
Yeah.
And the girls softball team also won districts in baseball. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is McKenna Jampney now, as I recently got married, and I live on Woodmont as of the past 2 years and has been a resident the past 27. I am just going to let everyone know that the Harper Woods Library has a Remembering Our Harper Woods History Night. It is on June 16th. It's all about Thanks for the Memories. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and it's going to be in the basement. There was an event earlier today that I was just at, and it was all about the East Side Drive-In, which I had no idea that Harper Woods ever had. It was actually the very first one in Michigan, so I think that's really cool, and it's something that everyone should come out and support our library. And please feel free to come to our board meetings. It's the third Thursday of the month at 7. You are all welcome to join. We will not have it on June 19th this year because it is on a holiday, so we are meeting the day before at 7 p.m. in the library, and everyone is welcome to join. So just please go out and check out a book from the library, and happy Pride.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I think it was great that we had the robotics team here from Harper Woods High School, but you guys forget that we have 2 school systems in the Harper Woods. It would be nice to have the Grosse Pointe system come in too. Okay, they have a great robotics.
Let me hold you right there. Mr. Schenberg, it was because they asked us, and so anytime you go to the Grosse Pointe School District.
Mr. Two-Time.
Wait a minute.
You're cutting into my time, lady.
Wait, she stopped your time. And let me just tell you, anytime Grosse Pointe School District would like to come here for a presentation, they are more than welcome. I have never had a request from the Grosse Pointe School District other than when they were doing board elections. So anytime you can pass the word on that a Grosse Pointe School District system wants to make some kind of presentation to the Harper Woods City Council, they are more than welcome. So don't use these as apples and oranges or comparisons. They are just the ones who came in and was able to make the presentation.
Now, I got misinformation then, because Mr. Touton said he invited them. All right,
yes,
so
it was-
apples and oranges, I don't care. They were invited. That's the point. Okay, the second thing is, I'm a little unhappy. I tried to get our Harper Woods Boy Scout troop is having a spaghetti dinner on Wednesday from 6 to 8:30. And I tried to get it on the bulletin board out front.
It's out there. I did it myself
When did you put it on?
this morning.
Yeah, I tried to get it on last week, but
I
you
was
were
out.
gone.
Well, she was away.
My point being is, there should be at least 2 people that can do that. I was told to come a week ahead of time to get it on. 3 days ahead of time doesn't do very good, okay? I'm just saying that there needs to be 2 people that should be able to do it, work that board and put it on. I do have tickets. It's $20 for adults, $15 for kids.
Hello, my name is Teresa. I live on Woodland. It was stated last by our acting city manager that finding a permanent city manager is not important at this time. I don't understand why. Why is it important? When you're making decisions that's changing what we're doing here in the city, and you don't have a city manager? So I was reading in Grosse Pointe News that Grosse Pointe Park, the city of Grosse Pointe Park, posted for an assistant city manager. And they got over 60 applicants. Imagine that. So if you post there on MML website, maybe we would have a city manager by now. Mr. Szymanski also stated it took 6 to 8 months to train one. It's June. I thought you were retiring at the end of the year. So I have another thing to say. Harper Woods, during the portion of the city council meetings called the audience, where the citizens voice their concerns about the city policy, it seems to never get a response. What we get is the death stare, the eye roll, or we get directed to a department head. So at this time, I would suggest that the council consider adoption of the town hall meetings for our community. Research has shown that a town hall forum builds trust, promotes community involvement, and they can help the council understand the city's residents' concerns and gather input on local issues. And it gives us gives us a sense of shared purpose. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vic Wilson, and I had something I really wanted you guys to take a listen to. I do this at 3 o'clock, so do my neighbors, 3 in the morning, and then I get up to go to work after that, after my sleep is broke. And then I heard you say something about putting trash out ahead of time. It's trash out Friday, 2 doors down for me, and nothing's done about it. But then as soon as I say I have my sisters and brothers over for a barbecue, the police are called on me. That's all I wanted to share. I stay on Eastwood Drive. Thank you.
What was making that noise?
Peacocks. It's 4 of them.
In our area?
Yes, and they come in my yard and defecate.
Peacock?
And I have to clean up behind them. One night I'm coming in from the club and I walk right in, I had to take my shoes off to go in the house. I called 911, reported it, and it's like to no avail. I don't try to complain and I don't try to disrespect people, but it's just, It's horrible. And I just figured I'd come here and let you guys.
Madam Mayor, can I just mention?
In the evening.
My understanding is that, I know there was a peacock problem in Grosse Pointe Park. And they called the zoo, and the zoo came out and removed peacocks.
No, he had a huge bird that they made him get rid of because they followed it with a drone and came to my house. And they thought it was my bird. It was a guy driving and a lady was operating a drone. He went to a golf course in Grosse Pointe, Detroit golf course, and tore something up twice. So they made him get rid of that bird. But he still got 4 peacocks. And it's like he do whatever he want to do.
Wow.
And calls the police on everybody. Thank
We
you.
have your address and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Huh?
We have your address?
Could you give your address to the police chief there?
Right.
Thank you.
Peacocks.
Yeah.
What do you mean pheasants?
No.
I would like their feathers.
My name is Tilly Dorsey. I'm actually his neighbor. And I had just moved here at the end of last year. I purchased my property, unfortunately, unseen, other than realtors and everybody else. The religious facility that is behind my property, I didn't know there were peacocks, but there's peacocks. And, they've come in my yard. I have small dogs. So I have to, when I let my dogs out, I have to make sure there's no peacock in my yard. I've watched them hop the fence, to get between the properties. The noise is crazy. That's nothing, for it. If there's a loud car, it sets those things off, and they just go all the time. So I didn't know what to do or who to talk to. I've heard, obviously I'm new to the neighborhood, so I've heard a lot of hearsay, about the people that own the property. And also their parking lot that is adjacent to mine, it's a large gravel parking lot. There's no drainage. My yard floods. I didn't know that until I purchased the property. My property, the people next to me, and the person directly behind me, but I believe they own that property as well, floods. I lose almost half my backyard to water because there's no proper drainage.
On Eastwood.
So, the city would have had to approve that parking lot at some point. So I don't know what can be done about that because,
We will look at it.
Yes, I'll look on your
Yeah.
face. No,
Okay.
so
thank
that's it. The peacock, the flooding, and the 7 a.m. I have to listen to bagpipes. 8 a.m. bells. 10 a.m. bells. Noon bells. 2 p.m. I work from home, so 2 p.m. it's like an alarm of bells coming from Oklahoma. It sounds like a siren, and it makes me want to think there's a tornado coming. So I don't know what the noise ordinance are. I've never lived right next to a religious facility, so I don't know if every 2 hours is regulated for that. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle White from Grosse Pointe Park, and I am the local lead for Wear Orange. And actually, I was also asked to boost it statewide, and I want to tell you thank you so much for supporting Wear Orange here in Harper Woods. I heard all about it. I heard about the ribbons being distributed here. I heard about the gun locks that were donated to us that were then distributed throughout the community. I see the ribbon outside. I had the mayor and some council members show up at our silent vigil on Mack Avenue, and I can tell you that it meant a lot. I can tell you as well that we plan to do this every year. It is on the first Friday in June of every year, and we're looking for more and more visibility. So if you can put your thinking caps on and think about how else Harper Woods could support, I would appreciate that. I don't know if you noticed, but the Spirit of Detroit this year had a shirt like mine on. That was no accident. There was a trauma doctor from DMC who made it his mission to have that happen. He lives in the Points, and he has the biggest heart you could imagine, and he made that happen. The Pistons also supported us. Ford Field lit up orange for a time on Friday night as well. And if you look up Wear Orange. If you look at Mom's Demand or Every Town for gun safety, and you look at their posts, you'll see all across the country. Bridges lit up orange, buildings lit up orange. You'll see people getting together to clean parks, food drives, gun lot giveaways, you name it. We gave away 40 backpacks up at a Harper Woods church. Rima International Church. He did so much with his church. So listen, there's so much we can do. It's an opportunity, and I want to thank you so much for doing that with us. It meant so much. Thank you.
Thank you for all your work.
Good evening, Tony Wagner on Washtenaw. These meetings are always so informative. I never knew until I heard Jerry and Vivian that there is actually a Chain Trombley Park in Grosse Pointe. Like the Chain Trombley Meat Market that used to be in Pole Town. I don't know if that was like a play on words or if it was an inside joke, but I remember that meat market from decades ago. Anyway, again, I don't know if this is relevant at all, but there was, not too many years ago, a Hare Krishna community down in the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood on Lenox, and they had tons of peacocks. And I don't know, did they relocate or splinter off, or and maybe it's just coincidental, but when I hear peacocks, I think of that neighborhood, because I had friends that lived on that street. Probably the more relevant point, if there is though, I wanted to mention to John about the festivals. Just to commiserate, I follow the festivals pretty closely in Chicago. I worked there for a number of years and still stay in contact. And a lot of their neighborhood-sized festivals, like I think you'd be discussing in Harper Woods, are running into financial problems. Festivals that have been in existence for decades, and it's like, this is our final year, next year's our final year. The economics are really devastating. What they're finding is, the price of the sounds crews and the lighting is just going up, the artist performance fees are going up, but the donations from the community, the merchandise sales, the concession revenues have flatlined. A lot of those festivals took a real hit during the pandemic and have never really recovered from it. So I don't know what that lends, but you're not alone in Harper Woods if it's becoming a financial issue. The big stuff like Lollapalooza and the Chicago Blues Festival and the Jazz Festival, the big stuff is okay, but the neighborhood-sized festivals like you would have in a community the size of Harper Woods, many of them are struggling for the same thing. I don't know if this is a factor here too. What they have in Chicago, given the ethnic mix they have, is they have a lot of performers trying to get visas to come entertain, and they can't get their visas anymore. And they've had a lot of performers cancel out because they couldn't come into the States, if that's relevant. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No, one time.
Can I just
One
say thank you
time.
to the Harper Woods School Board? Pardon? I can't? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Council, you first.
Go first. All right. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. The robotics team, I really enjoyed the robotics team because I'm a teacher and I'm a mathematics and science teacher. So I love to see STEM activities, that our students are involved in. So that was very, very refreshing, very good to see. The NAACP, I went to an NAACP, Grosse Pointe, Harper Woods NAACP meeting, and they are trying to rebuild their membership. There will be a table out at the Juneteenth celebration. So if you know anybody who's interested in joining or just want more information about what the Grosse Pointe, Harper Woods NAACP does, there'll be a table at the Juneteenth celebration. The Juneteenth celebration. The Juneteenth celebration is coming up next week, and I'm sure the mayor is going to speak a little bit more about that. It's very nice because all the Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods are coming together to do this celebration. So I hope to see everyone out if you can make it. Do want to wish Happy Father's Day, because that's coming up to all the fathers out there. Enjoy your day. Hope your children, come through, and wish you happy Father's Day. So I hope you have a very nice Father's Day. Wear orange for gun violence. I couldn't find an orange jacket, so I came as close as I could, but I definitely thought about it. Because I support that, because, we really do need to, try to reduce gun violence, especially when so many young people are getting hurt from it. And one more. In May, I attended a two-day conference with the Michigan Municipal League when they represent our elected officials. So I was very pleased to be able to go to the conference. It's a leadership conference because I believe in learning and how to be a better city council member and go through the training. And there's a lot of information that they give. And a couple of things that they did talk about was council-manager relationships at that particular meeting. They also talked about civility and collaboration leadership. We talked about strategic coalition building, thriving communities, mediation tools for elected officials. And so it was a very informative 2 days. So I really enjoyed going. Hopefully more council members will come to some of those also, because I know we go to the big ones, but this is a smaller one. And so, they give a lot more, I guess, personalized training because it's a smaller group. So it was very rewarding, and I was very pleased to be part of that. And I think that's it for my list. Thank you.
I think I'm gonna say what Mrs. White was gonna say, which was thank you to the Harper Woods School Board and the Grosse Pointe School Board for adopting the Wear Orange resolution. And I know the Tebrons were at several events and tied some orange ribbons around their neighborhood, and so we appreciate you. Beautification Commission is going to be out in the neighborhoods, just starting to do judging homes. So if you see some people looking at your house, don't get all worried that they're casing you. You might be getting an award. So just ask, hey, are you guys from the Beautification Commission? If somebody's out looking at your house. Mr. Crass, I appreciate your certificate there. Just so you know that my son's played for 18 straight years. Won some district championships. My nephew played, so probably my family played for over 30 years. And Mr. Jenny here was highly involved in the Harper Woods Little League, and we all really miss our Little League experiences. And it's something that brought our community together, but alas, it's not here anymore. So that's all I got.
Be really quick. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Be safe. All right, enjoy your day. Hopefully everyone does. That's it for me.
All right. I wanted to, say the same thing that Ms. Williams said, that Happy Father's Day. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. It's often a time when people get injured through the use of fireworks. We won't be meeting again until July 14th, and so that'll be after the holiday. So please do take care out there. I know a lot of people who have been injured. But I also wanted to mention 2 other things. I received a memo from a resident who is requesting that Harper Woods might change our ordinance on burning, backyard burning, because of the smoke that's created. She's recommending that we only allow either the smokeless or propane fire pits, and points out one interesting and I think very valuable thing, and that is that most recently we have had poor quality of air issues due to the wildfires that are taking place in Canada. And I know I have been affected, and there are some mornings, I'm sure all of you can wake up and smell some of that wood burning. And so it might be something we want to consider, especially on poor air quality days, which we can all get an app that's available for your phone that tracks air quality. And I think it would be a valuable thing for our ordinance commission or committee to consider. Again, the idea of how can we curb the burning that might go on in the summertime. I have a backyard fire pit. It's a smokeless one, and I think most of us do enjoy having some, experience of that. But it is an air quality issue, and so I think we need to at least take that up again and consider it. But she asked me to mention that. And then finally, I wanted to mention that when I was looking at the Shane Trombley Park in Grosse Pointe Woods, I couldn't help but notice a large rock that they have posted there with all of the contributors that made that park possible. I'm certain the city had some hand in the cost of it, but the park had a number of businesses, a number of individuals that contributed. And when I was researching it, I learned that their Citizen Recreation Commission played an important role in fundraising, and that the Grosse Pointe Woods Foundation also raised over $200,000 for that park. And that wasn't from city money, We have a Harper Woods Neighborhood Economic Development Coalition that is a nonprofit that I think could be tasked, or perhaps could be given some responsibility toward raising money toward toward events that take place. We also have the Recreation Advisory Board, which is a number of residents that are authorized by council to sit on a commission, and I think they could also be tasked with some of these projects that perhaps could help us raise money, could help us determine what our needs are. And I'd love to be able to see some of these citizen organizations used a little bit more. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Once again, happy Father's Day, safe and happy 4th, and see you on the 14th.
Okay, speaking of Father's Day, after Councilwoman Pratt and Mayor Kendall and I attended the violence, and wearing our orange out on Mack Avenue, Harper Woods School did offer a Father's Day dinner for all the fathers in Harper Woods and surrounding areas or whatever. So the mayor and I did attend that, and the food was good as always over in the CTI building. As far as the training you went to, Councilwoman Williams, I've attended that in the past up in Bay City on more than one occasion, which helped me get some of my certifications. And I'm glad that the fact that we are extending our relationship with the different, they call us an MML, try to build a relationship with your schools, with your different businesses or whatever, sort of like what Councilwoman Zuwicki was implying here, so we could gain funds from them, or they could participate more in our activities. But anyway, have a happy 4th.
I wanted to let everyone know that there's a spaghetti dinner at the MVets Post on Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. It's $20 for adults, $15 for kids, and that benefits the Scouts. Also, we had a comment about the hotel today, and I was just over there driving around with some of my girlfriends after a meeting, and kind of going in the direction to take one home, and we definitely witnessed some prostitution taking place right there in front of the drugstore next door, and it is a problem over there, and the area needs to be watched. We called the police and nobody came. So we just went about our lives, but we do need to keep an eye on that area because there is a serious problem there. And then as far as the robotics today, it was very nice to have the robotics team here and have them do their demonstration. My daughter was involved with First Robotics, like that organization, and their team went higher and higher as this team's doing, and I'm convinced that was the reason why my daughter was able to become an electrical engineer. She was fast-tracked, like, because of her involvement in the robotics. She didn't even have to take like the prerequisites to get into the engineering program. They just let her go straight into the engineering program. And I really think it's a wonderful thing for these kids. And it's a great way for us to be on top of the technology, to be the leaders of technology, not just in the school, but in the state and in the country. What these kids are doing with the First Robotics is nothing short of amazing. I mean, they are learning to code. They are even in high school able to create robots or anything for assembly lines. You saw what that little middle school level robot did, where it could take something and throw it into a bin. Might not seem like a lot, but in a corporation, that type of technology would really, assist them and help bring more production here. So I think that's something to get behind, and I'm really excited that they came here.
Okay. All right, that leaves me, and I attended, this was graduation season, and I attended the graduation for Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe, and Chandler Park Academy. And each one was different, but inspiring. The young people were very happy and excited, and they just don't know what they're getting ready to embark upon. As I remember when I graduated, I thought I had the world by the tail. Soon learned that just the beginning, and then you gotta pay bills, okay? But however, it was very inspirational. Grosse Pointe School District was scheduled for Wednesday. They canceled it to Thursday, and then I had a conflict. So I went there on Wednesday, chairs all set out, dry as a bone, and then Thursday they had the graduation, but it was misty and wet. So I ended up having to go to the NAACP meeting, which was at the same time. And Chandler Park and Harper Woods, Chandler Park was right at this Chandler Park School. Harper Woods was at the Aretha Franklin Theater down on the riverfront, which is a nice venue to be at. And once again, they had 100% graduation. Chandler Park had $23 million in scholarships. Harper Woods, I think, was 8 to 12 million. And I haven't got the numbers for the Grosse Pointe because I didn't actually attend the ceremony because they switched the dates with me. But I will report that out next time. But I just want to say congratulations to all the schools, all the high schools, and to the graduates. You are just embarking upon life. Take it slow and enjoy it, and be careful who you hang out with. So if I had that advice back when I was graduating, I might have left a few friends behind. But however, we live and learn. I also want to thank, as Mr. Toussaint brought up, the Father's Day at the CCI building. And once I got there, I didn't know about it per se until that day. And I asked Mr. McGee when he was here to please give us a direct line to activities that are happening at the school district so that we can participate as we would like to. It was a very, very good dinner. I mean, the food was fantastic. The ribs fell off the bone. The chicken was, ooh. And so we called the police department and invited them over, but no one ever showed up. So I don't know what happened with that, Jason. No one ever showed up for a free meal. I'm sorry. But Mr. Wickey, you brought up a good point, and what we would like to do, John and I, we've discussed this before, is to establish a foundation that will be the one that will be responsible for funds and to gather funds for the city, because most foundations and charitable cannot send a check to Harper Woods, the city of Harper Woods. So we need to establish a foundation that will be able to raise money and be able to operate. And that's something we will be doing in the very near future, is trying to establish a foundation. Most cities have one, but we don't have one. And we also have to remember, we are basically a bed and breakfast type of community. We have very little commercial in our city. So we would have to rely mostly on our citizens and the few businesses we have to be contributors. And also, some people on the outside would give us money too, but you know, we don't have the same foundation as the Grosse Pointe. So that's what I'm trying to get to understand, is that our foundation would be totally different because we are less commercial than the Grosse Pointes. And
what are the times for Juneteenth?
I'm sorry, Juneteenth is next Thursday, June 19th, Juneteenth. Okay, and I always, we, the city, always celebrate it on whatever date is the 19th. I have not, ever since I started this, I've always made it on the day, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, but the 19th is the day of Juneteenth. So I know people have it the day after, the day before, whatever the weekend is, but ours is always the 19th from 1 to 4. And we will be having artists, we'll have Kimmy Horns and
Ray Scott, sax player.
Ray, what's his name?
Scott, sax player.
Yeah, the sax player, Scott.
At Wayne County Community.
Yes, okay. You know what, Vivian?
I just want people to know where to go.
We will be at Wayne County Community College. This time we will be at the main building because it's more shade and it has, if it's as hot as it was last year. But right now, Salter Park is in the process of getting prepared for the community center. And Mr. Kraft, nothing against the community center as it was, because I not only had things there when I moved into this community, but even before that, I had my mother's repast at the community center. So it was great for those things, but now we need a community center that is much more broader than just a place to have a banquet. We must be able to have a place where we can meet, where senior citizens can cool, where they can get warm, where they can get any kind of information that they need, be able to exercise or whatever. We need to be able to have a real community center, and that's what I've been working towards. I shouldn't say I, because it's a team up here, and we all have to work together. So it is a team of us that is trying to promote build the first community center in the city of Harper Woods. We've always relied on our recreation to be a part of the school district. Well, since the pandemic, that changes the whole scope of people coming in and out of schools has changed. You cannot do that as we used to do it. I know when I was a kid, we had after-school programs in our gym, in our elementary school. We went back to school after dinner and whatnot for recreational programs. That's not the norm today. The buildings have to be so secure now that they cannot allow any and everybody to come into their buildings anymore. So that's why our need, so if you have any monies in your pillows or under your mattress or whatever, and you'd like to contribute to the community center, or you know somebody that has some, please get in touch with John and make sure that we be able to have whatever we need to make it the best community center in this area.
Is it gonna be just for the city of Harper Woods?
This is for the city of Harper Woods, but mind you, when you take funds from the state or Wayne County, it has to be open to the citizens, just like our parks are open. I'm not gonna go into a long discussion with you in regards to that. But anyway, Mr. Jennings.
Madam Mayor.
Oh, and just remind next meeting, the next meeting is on the 14th of July, as Mrs. Sawicki has said. So just remember, we only have one meeting from June, July, and August. Okay? I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom.
Okay. I know you like to run these.
You can do it.
Gosh.
You can do it.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Motion carries. We are now adjourned.